first things first. Teleport on hit. What happens is, if you get hit in a biome, you'll be teleported back up to the top of the mountain. The Holy Mountain, from whence you came. They will have 30 minutes to post a time or win. The fastest time wins the day. If it has to go into overtime, it's the first to win. But introducing back, Darren the Wizard and Dadwrestler. Dad Wizard? Words. Dadwrestler, welcome back, even though you never went anywhere. How you doing? How you feeling going up against Darren the Wizard? Did you have? I take it you had a chance to watch his first run going up against.
I've been studying the way of the Wizard Blade for a while, so I have a good shot of winning, I think.
Nah, most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Darren the Wizard. Considering what I both saw from both of you, this is going to be a close one, I feel.
I think so. Yeah, This should be good. Test our wizard metal.
I believe we are almost ready.
For sure.
Getting a few things set in the background here and there, but what kind of strategies? Did you have a strategy that you actually go for in these type of runs? Like slow and steady, or do you actually just try and haul ass?
I usually try to stay cautious at first, but if I feel like I'm kind of losing time, I'll start rushing. I got a little panicked at the end there, and that's why I kind of just threw it all to the wall, and it seemed to work.
No, it seems like a very situational thing.
As is Noita does.
Regardless. The best of luck to these two fantastic competitors. Dadwrestler, Darren the Wizard, if you'd like... Well, actually, wait, I keep on forgetting the order of things. Slightly. Chat. Can you give me some numbers, please? 9 numbers I will pick at random, even though I might accidentally pick 8 or 10. We got 1, 7, 2, 6, 4, 6, 9, 1, 9. I'll post it in chat. I'll post it in the Discord. That's the one. There we go. So we have 1, 7, 2, 6, 4, 6, 9, 1, 9. And we are at... Yeah,
make
1,
sure I have
7,
my mods
2.
on this time.
Hey, it's all good. It's all, it's... it's all good. So that's 1, 7, 2, 6, 4, 6, 9, 1, 9. It is coming upon 50 minutes past 11. Will you be ready in 1 minute?
I'll be ready in 1 minute.
Get ready in 1 minute. You got 1 minute.
So at 58 or 59?
We'll leave it 2 minutes. Go on the hour. Go on the hour. That's a solid, easy way of, remembering everything. I don't mind talking for a minute. Yeah, no, it's fine. But the best of luck to, again, 2 wonderful members of the Noita community gonna rock it for you. I'm gonna put on a show, I am sure.
Best of luck, Dad. Have fun.
Yeah, to you too. I'll see you at the finish line.
See you there.
Good luck, my friends. So, it comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Dadwrestler versus Darren the Wizard. I'm going to make sure everything is all cool. We're going to bring back Alias again for his glorious, knowledgeable, and wonderful commentary. As we all know, sometimes doing without just won't do. So if Alias would like to join us... And they will have 40 seconds remaining till they're running. Alias, what are you expecting? Anything? Anything at all?
All right. So the final match between Darren the Wizard and Dadwrestler. Another seed selected by chat. Let's hope it's a fancy one. I'm excited to see how this one turns out.
Have you ever known a seed from chat not hold up to live to expectations? As Twitch chat, best chat said before about Twitch seeds, that he said Twitch seeds were the best seeds. Like Twitch chat, best chat knows good seed chat.
They're always crazy. They truly are.
I'm excited because again, the level of competition here was awesome. I've been super excited to again see what they pull out. And Dadwrestler is away. Darren the Wizard is away.
Dadwrestler ritualistically going back for the cart. I respect it. Can't leave it behind.
Maybe that's how he got his 2 worms last time.
Perhaps. Darren also making sure to get that cart. Looks like there's already some divergent play going on. Dadwrestler checking right while Darren going left. And Dadwrestler managed to find some Berserkium. You can see Darren is close behind. The distinct issue in the early game here is that neither player has the ability to put out fire or neutralize slime. So that's actually going to give them some significant troubles, I think, on this floor that is oftentimes filled with both fire and slime.
No, it's going to give us some comedy entertainment. No, seeing them set on fire, trying to punch their own heads, trying to put themselves out. I mean, when they go back up to the Holy Mountain, they do have a little bit of water. But if they don't get water in the first level, well, they can get in the Holy Mountain. But if they forget, then they start in the second level, start punching themselves in the head because they're on fire and trying to put it out. There's no stop, drop, and roll here, my friends. You need that water, or you need to submerge yourself at least in any liquid that's not lava or acid.
Yep, and you can see Dadwrestler is blowing apart this level with his Berserkium, looking pretty nice. Darren successfully extracting that treasure chest. Unfortunately, it was filled with a flask, so it is gone. And he's back up to the surface with a little bit of toxic sludge. This first floor can really be a slugfest if you don't find water early on, like what's going on here. Really dangerous one. Going up by Dadwrestler there. An enemy had the magic missile. That thing can basically one-shot kill you. So honestly, it's fortunate he got teleported back there.
Yeah, Uko nearly ended me today with some missiles. Not a happy bunny. They're very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And again, first floor, one of the most likely things to kill you is your own stupidity, to be honest. Like, just slowly being ground down. But, on occasion, enemies will grab ones. Sometimes not even on occasion. Sometimes it feels like every time. However, there's something you've always got to watch out for. Your angles. You've got to make sure you can hide behind terrain sometimes at a moment's notice. If you leave yourself in the open, then you leave yourself open to having an enemy which has perfect accuracy, unless the wand doesn't have accuracy, shoot directly at you. And try and move at a moment's notice with the pace of a rocket coming at you.
Exactly.
You basically already need to be moving.
Oh, an interesting choice by Darren, actually choosing to pick up some slush, which is a water-based material, so that way they can at least rinse themselves off if they get set on fire or have the toxic sludge active. Obviously, slush is going to make him much, much slower, but I think that it's a really high-value pickup. That's a clever move. And Dadwrestler is primed to leave to the next floor if he wants to, but it looks like he's going to choose to continue exploring the first floor, probably in the hopes that he's going to find one of these high-value early-game spells, I imagine.
There's going to be some competition into dissecting the first few floors here, seeing who can get the better loadout. There is an argument that you should examine the first few floors, see where everything is, restart. Get knowledge about the first few floors, just restart, and then run to the knowledgeable and profitable areas quicker, get a quicker time overall if you do have a successful run in the first 30 minutes.
That can be a solid option. I do think that in this category specifically, where you have to try and not get hit, that can be a much more significant challenge. As you can see, even on the first floor, these two very highly skilled players are still getting hit from time to time. And Dadwrestler is going to take that easy out at this point and carry on to the next floor. Hopefully the shop has something good in store for him. You can see he's making sure to gather that water while Darren is gathering some more money on this floor, making great use of that bouncing burst. Let's take a quick look at these wands.
So they will have 45 minutes it was arranged 40, but why not give him an extra 5 minutes just to have a little bit of an extra gander? 45 minutes plus overtime if no one gets a successful run, but I feel with 45 minutes, they will most certainly have a good attempt at breaking this seed apart, making sure to put a score on the board.
Absolutely. And you can see the perks here are telekinetic kick, bomb inventory, or he was able to grab the trick blood money. Obviously, trick blood money is probably a little bit less useful on this run because ideally you're not getting hit in the first place, but that is what he chooses to take just for the added consistency. You can see already diverging tactics. Darren is going for the telekinetic kick and grabbing the rocks, which is going to give him immense damage potential in the early game. Definitely a clever pickup. I'm very interested to see how these two play styles continue to diverge.
A bit of a contradiction with picking up Trick Blood Money and having a tablet. He can heal himself over the course of a biome, which can lead him to actually survive the biome longer and grind it more. However, with Darren ignoring the blood money but taking the telekinetic kick, which would give him trick kills for the capacity to kill more severely, to march his way through without taking that damage in the first place, maybe. Because telekinetic kick will probably give you more killing capacity without getting hit yourself than a tablet would. Even though tablet can block projectiles, it's the rapid nature of a telekinetic kick. However, the downside is he might accidentally suck a few explosives into him and will have a keen eye. Well, he won't have any face left to see with if he sucks in some explosives towards him. Yeah.
Would be exceptionally dangerous. And you make a very good point about Trick Blood Money. I think that in terms of like a war of attrition style run, this basically is fantastic insurance for exactly that. And you can see Darren is doing his best with these rocks here, but they are not easy to aim. It is a tricky thing to master telekinetic kick, and even masters can oftentimes struggle to get that perfect aim depending on what the object you're using is. There are so many different physics objects you can just pick up and interact with in Noita, and just being able to pick one up and know its general properties is no small feat. You can see Dadwrestler here is making quick work of this holy temple, grabbing melee immunity, an incredibly powerful boon for a run like this, and also quickly moving through the wand shop and into the third floor.
Melee immunity as well with his tablet allows him to get closer to certain enemies, which will allow him to heal. It's a good combo. It's still got its problems, but it can certainly help him come through some tough times.
I think he's got incredible potential for healing at this point, which can definitely help him in this sort of long run. And his pace so far has been very aggressive, and I think that that healing in his back pocket is what allows him to play this slightly more aggressive and faster-paced game. Darren is still playing at this very even keel pace, and you can see he's now just behind, considering going into the next area, but looks like he has some more work to do on this second floor, ideally hoping to find maybe one or two extra things, but he's encountered a dead end. I wonder if this will make him change his mind. It looks like it has. Dadwrestler is abusing his Berserkium to open up this third level here, the Frozen Depths. And once again, like I said last time, the Frozen Depths is an area that can be incredibly challenging if you end up getting caught out by one of these long-ranged enemies. There's a tanky right there. If they hit you from the shadows, there's not much you can do about it. And it looks like Dadwrestler is actually making a fantastic pace through this floor. Darren utilizing these temple statues as fantastic shields as well as weapons.
Yeah, thickness of them. You've got to get them on the right kind of angle. But most definitely you can hide from the enemy. They won't even shoot at you because they don't actually recognize your presence. It's that thick and long. It's just super beneficial to take around with you. However, the problem, which has manifested itself currently on screen, is it won't fit through everything. It won't fit through every hole, being so long, you know? and thick.
Indeed. And you can see Dadwrestler here is grabbing a revenge bullets on the next floor. Interestingly enough, he's really going into like a tanky strategy on this run. I wonder how much use revenge bullets will be. I guess for the resistance sake, that is going to help him in that regard. And you can see Dadwrestler here is contemplating a wand build that could be potentially extremely lethal to both enemies and himself. I'm interested to see how he makes use of this. You can see Darren is now making use of his juggling skills and using both statues at once. Oh my goodness, he's managed to pick up some explosives by accident with his statue. Dadwrestler.
Yeah, it must be all that ball practice. Spinning around, balancing the ball. I mean, he's got previous, most definitely.
That's exactly it. He's got the skills already.
Dadwrestler down into Hisi base, and again, this is where it gets even more hectic than the snowy depths, being really close quarters, lots of Hisi ready to ambush from all directions. More sentries in confined close quarters that are harder to kill. You have more protection from terrain in the way. However, it's while there's more space in the snowy that you can sneak past, Hisi doesn't allow that really. You can, if you're rapid and have Acceleratanium or something similar, it's possible you could just sneak through very fast. It takes time for enemies to actually fire at you sometimes. It's not always an option though, you know? Not always.
Yeah, it's more unlikely to have that additional speed. So you really do have to have a certain level of killing power to succeed in Hisi base. And obviously, when you're going at a faster pace like this, it can be really tricky to achieve that level of kill power. And you can see Dadwrestler is really supplementing his damage very well with that Berserk Flask. That's giving him ×3 damage, and he's drinking it rather than staining himself. Also some clean tablet play there. I appreciate some good tablet placement from time to time. And you can see that he is making a pretty significant clearing in this floor, but it is giving Darren some time to catch back up. You can see he's also done a pretty good job of clearing this previous floor, the frozen depths. And yeah, this is a very, very close match still. And I'm wondering if either of these players will die. Both of their health values are still very low. They've not found much HP to work with.
I believe there's only been one restart. I don't think it was a death, but there's definitely been one restart in the total of all the runs. I don't think there's actually been a death, though, if I remember correctly. But there's been very limited death, is what I'm trying to say. And they seem to be in a more survivable situation with this type of run. Because even if you are grinded down, by the time you get down to low HP, you've already cleared a lot of the area. And you would normally be surprised near the portal, if anything.
Yeah, it's very
Unless you get
interesting
really unlucky.
to see how these runs go, because it feels like there's a certain greater level of consistency to the play, at least with the play styles that have been adopted by the players, and it's really cool to see the additional problem solving going into it, and the ability to recover from these mistakes in a unique way. An enemy with a wand, thankfully, just basic bombs. That could have been really bad if it were something like a holy bomb. You can see Darren is moving through while Dadwrestler contemplates on his build. And yeah, hopefully Darren can make it through. It looks like he's almost at this next level. You can see this is uncharted territory for him, and he's pretty far down. But he's still relying on these rocks, and it's just not quite enough. Dadwrestler manages to make it through Hisi base and manages to find some fantastic spells. That's a black hole right there. Black hole can be incredibly high value. Being able to skip immense amounts of the level, especially when played right. And yeah, I like Dadwrestler's position here, but I think that Darren has plenty of time still to catch up.
Well, of course, you're going to go for the immunity at this point, but what would Teleportatus do in this run? Wouldn't it just be neutralized completely, or would it just break the mod?
I was contemplating exactly how Teleportatus would work, and I believe... So it depends on what frame they go off, but if Teleportatus goes off slightly after the mod, then it would give you one free teleport. But if it went off before the mod, then it would give you no teleport whatsoever. However, it is still a flat amount of resistance, which is pretty high value, I would say. And you can see Darren went for a reroll here, and he's contemplating on his perks. It's a tricky choice for him. He's got Freezing Charge now, which is obviously an amazing, immensely defensive spell with some decent offensive capabilities as well. It's something that's super important to have. Interesting. Bombs Materialize, taken by Darren the Wizard. This allows him to put the rocks up in his item slots, so now he can use that in combination with his telekinetic kick. So he's really got an interesting build going here.
Yeah, Bombs Materialize with explosive immunity is insane. If you manage to get Holy Hand Grenades, or any bombs really, infinite spells maybe. Yeah, especially since you can't put nukes in your active potion slot, anything you can throw out isn't going to collapse the ceiling. And if you've got, well, fire immunity you'd probably need on this type of run as well, but the amount of extra benefit you can get just by clearing out a one space for explosives can be immense for helping you in biomes.
For sure. And you can see Dadwrestler here is struggling a little bit with the jungle. It looks like it's kind of a difficult layout for him. And his wand is rather unwieldy. He has to pre-fire extremely well to manage to get these kills with his current wand. He's using a hollow egg with a square barrier as his kill method. So he needs to be very precise with these shots. And so far his movement has been really on point. Dodging all sorts of shots, but Darren is doing a pretty solid job through the Hisi base here, and I really like the build that he's going for. I want to see how it plays out as it gets further in here, because rocks grant you a ton of kill power. Actually, Darren, dissatisfied with how the run is going, is actually deciding to do a reset, starting with a fresh run, taking that knowledge and going hopefully a little bit faster. We'll see what he chooses to do here.
That's a bold strategy, considering while Dadwrestler was being slowed down for his hollow egg square barrier, he wasn't far behind. Again, the lack of information you have about your competitors' run also can play into that fact of just getting frustrated with the run and feeling like you can do a better job, especially if you have 45 minutes, which you do have, to clear one run to get the best time possible. Unless it goes into overtime, then it's the first to win.
Yes, there's a lot of time for strategizing and a lot of time for progressing the seed, learning the ins and outs, and abusing that as much as possible is definitely a wise move. I think that it's more of a confidence move than anything by Darren to reset there. He felt he knew enough about the seed, or perhaps he wants to try a different line. Regardless, it is an interesting choice, and we'll see if it pays off for him.
Maybe with the freezing charge and the telekinetic kick, he might have thought it was just a bit too slow to post a decent time, especially in 45 minutes. It's a tricky one to call that, because while he was doing good killing, I didn't feel like it had longevity in the run. He would constantly get drawn down his HP just by not having things to throw, or the only things to throw sometimes explosives, especially when you get down to the art, the crystals, while they're throwable. If they go off in your face, there's a series of bad things occurring all around you. So maybe he just weighed up the pros and cons with all the information he had and figured that with the explosion immunity, with everything else that he could get, saying that he wouldn't have known he had explosion immunity because he didn't get past the jungle, did he?
No, he didn't quite make it there. But you can see Dadwrestler did just get past the jungle, and he's also managed to acquire himself a heavy shot. Definitely some really high value spells on Dadwrestler's end. It's going to be up to Dadwrestler to piece together the spells that he wants to make a powerful wand, and it looks like he might have stumbled onto something. Or rather, he knows very well that this will do absolutely nuclear damage. Freezing Gaze, each individual particle or each individual sub piece is going to get that heavy shot, which will allow it to do insane damage. So this could be the sort of wand that could carry you through the rest of the game, assuming he plays at the right pace for the wand. Obviously, those square barriers are going to slow him down pretty immensely.
But getting one on the board, especially if you feel like it is a bit of a tough seed to start off with. It might get better, but sometimes you're better just finishing the run, even if it slows you down a little bit. Just accept the pace that the game gives you. See what you can pull out. You can't force things sometimes, and you know what happens if you do.
I think they're definitely both valid strategies, and it's interesting to see them so starkly against one another here. You can see Darren going for that reset strat, just making his way through the first floor, and Dadwrestler just pushing through as much as he can. I think that this seed has a lot of potential with many of the spells, and the perks are also quite strong, assuming you line them up quite right. So it's all a matter of piecing those puzzle pieces together.
Well, with Darrenthewizard still in the first area, the knowledge, I would have suspected with the knowledge he had previously, unless he feels there's a lot of benefit to staying in the first area and exploring a bit more, to maybe eke out a little bit more pace. Overall,
it's possible he's seeking out Black Hole or All-Seeing Eye. Obviously, those spells are super important on this run if you can find them. But I agree. I'd like to see him go a little bit faster. And it looks like he is starting to pick up the pace and travel through this first floor. Dadwrestler is now trucking through the vault. You can see he's doing some fairly significant damage to these enemies. And once again, he is melee immune. So he is completely immune to a large number of the enemies in this game, which is extremely handy. There you go. Darren's on to the next floor. Keep in mind that if Dadwrestler finishes with this time, and that's the only time he gets, and Darren finishes, it's quite possible that he does manage a faster time.
Well, we are 21 minutes into the run. They've still got more than half of their time left, so yeah, it's anybody's game at the moment still. Until someone posts a time and we get a good round number to look at and to compare the actual time they spent on their live run at the moment that they might finish. It's very difficult to say. Again, we've seen how this game kind of just brutalizes people in a moment's notice. Although that brutalization is slowed down somewhat. Darrenthewizard and the previous set of runs, again, so close to dying so many times. And it's been a heavy beating they've taken sometimes.
Yep, and once again, these players just managed to overcome that and pull out insane victories. You can see Dadwrestler is doing a pretty good job clearing through the vault here, but you can see that Robocop is an absolute bane on this floor. He can shoot so quickly, and it's very, very hard to react to his burst fire. Definitely a challenging enemy to deal with when you don't have the defensive perks to handle him. You can see Darrenthewizard is setting up a freeze charge wand, which is definitely going to help defensively this early on, going into the third floor with, I hope, a certain level of confidence, and we'll be able to clear this in a solid amount of time. Let's see what's going on here. It looks like an enemy has managed to grab a wand. It was actually shooting at Darren there, but it didn't manage to do anything. Interesting. Dadwrestler is struggling through on the vault. Once again, this is an incredibly challenging floor. There's so much damage over time all over the place, as well as fast shooting bullet enemies. It is a nightmare for this sort of run. You can see this electric skull is giving him troubles, but he manages to take it out with a well-placed hollow egg. One of the more interesting triggers in the game. It can do some interesting stuff. Dadwrestler is trying to find a way to deal with this Robocop. This Robocop has been an absolute bane, like I said, and oh my goodness, it's jumping through the barriers for him. How kind of the Robocop. Dadwrestler manages to take it out, and Darren, once again, still progressing quite cleanly through this third floor, and he manages to find the hollow egg. I wonder if he will choose to take it. And Darren has obviously gotten immense amounts of value out of this hollow egg so far.
Well, with Darren almost guaranteed to pick up the melee and explosion immunity, how will he find the vault later on? That's my question, when he gets down to it. I believe it's a matter of time. And will it slow Darren up as much as it slowed Wrestler up? I mean, it's all about those specific time, the amount of time it takes you in specific biomes all added up. When the one really slows you down, it really adds to the clock.
Absolutely, and pathing can make a big difference as well. You can see that Dadwrestler has been adamant on taking this left path, and the right path there is still shrouded in the fog of war. Dadwrestler just getting back at it again, but you can see what I was saying earlier. This sustain that he has is amazing. He has barely taken any damage at all, despite being hit multiple times on this floor. And it's really working for him. So if this comes down to a war of attrition, I think Dadwrestler has a pretty good advantage.
Progressor in chat, did you guys notice Darren getting different perk options on his rerun? I haven't, actually. No, Alias.
There can be different perk selections based on like various resets. I'm not entirely certain how the manipulation works, but every now and then it can be like a different perk set. It's quite interesting. I've had situations where I'd load up the same seed and it was like 2 sets of different perks essentially. But I haven't personally researched that too much. But we'll see how that ends up playing a role on these runs. You can see Dadwrestler's managed to find a ton of black holes, which is absolutely amazing. The more black holes, the better. Although, obviously, they are a lot trickier to make use of now that they've got that gravity welling effect. Very, very dangerous for pulling in various materials.
Could it be the mods they use from Latali in chat? I think I've seen the perks in different orders, but I'm not sure about different actual perk selections. It could be a number of things, but I actually don't have the answer, so I can't comment.
It's definitely a peculiar one we'll have to keep an eye on in the future. And also, Dadwrestler markedly making it through the vault. That incredibly challenging floor that gave him a ton of trouble. And now he's on the Temple of the Art. The Temple of the Art is a unique floor because a lot of the enemies are mostly designed to murder you instantly. And because of that, their attacks tend to be a little bit more dodgeable. And with the melee immunity, that is obviously going to make an absolutely massive difference here. You can see Darren is cruising through Hisi base at this point, which is excellent. Definitely picking up the pace. And Dadwrestler is being swarmed. Incredible dodge on the barrier there. Just barely. Oh my goodness. He does get set back, but only a minor setback.
Yeah, setbacks happen. As long as you learn from it and don't keep on losing time to the same thing, you're making casual progress. Man, a run like this, you'll take it. Especially if you're just trying to get that solid number on the board.
Yep, any number on the board is of great value at this point. Dadwrestler has the defense, he has the offense, he's got everything he needs to finish this run off. And Darren is trailing behind a little bit, but once again, he did reset, so he does have a bit of a time advantage at this point, I would say. If he can finish his run within a reasonable amount of time, he will take a decent time lead. Oh my goodness, the black holes! Incredibly dangerous black holes like that. But thankfully, that Dark Flame just barely missed him.
Well, they've got through 28 minutes so far. 17 minutes to either restart and get a win on the board. Dadwrestler's closing in on his first. Can he maintain? Again, there's a lot of danger. Oof. The wall hangings in the art, they've, since 1.0, become a lot more cheekier, shall we say. They've become a lot more irritating. They've become a lot more, well, brutal, and that is Noita's speciality, is it not? Taking something that just, that's a slight scratch, that's a slight annoyance, and okay, we're going to give you a proper wound. And they've done that properly.
Up to 11. Now, an interesting point to make is Dadwrestler grabbed the projectile reducing speed perk, which is very helpful for avoiding enemy projectiles, but it is also doing great harm to his black holes, massively slowing down his progress for each one. And every time there is an enemy with a projectile kicking around, black holes are going to be extremely high risk because they will pull in all of those shots and it will completely ignore the projectile slower just because the gravitational pull of a black hole is pretty much unmatched, as one could imagine.
Now, the black hole will still make tiny little holes. There's been relative success with it, just as you've seen with Dadwrestler. Oh, the worm coming in on the side. To be continued, my friends. Oh, it takes a slight deviation upwards. Dadwrestler got lucky there. It's curse damage in 1.0, and he makes it to the portal in good time and good order, with more than half his HP left. What does he have in the way of boss killers? Again, with the projectile slower and black holes, I've seen it work. It's better to have them than to not to have them. And if you're going to get hit, you're only going to get that one projectile hit on you. It's not going to... I think you'd be very unlucky if it multi-hit you all at the same time in the same frame before you teleported away. If that could happen.
He certainly has lots of goodies to murder the boss with. He's got freezing, he's got this barrier, he's got the heavy shot, he's got essence to power, he's got Omega Saw, you could use a black hole barrier build. He's got a plethora of different ways to murder this boss. So I'm sure Dadwrestler will be locking in their first time here very shortly here. And I can't imagine what could possibly go wrong.
Well, with a square barrier, again, having a plethora of different weaponry to bring to bear, it can be quite a difficult choice because you can kind of get blinders when you're in a situation like this. When you're speedrunning, again, we talked about that a little bit before, when you've got the kind of speedrunning strat in your head, it can make you think about just pure pace and kind of skim over certain elements of effective killing when it comes to the boss because you've been thinking about the biomes too much and how irritating it is to get sent back to the Holy Mountain all the time. So when you get to the boss fight, you're not in the right frame of mind to build that quickly, and if you rush it, that's 29:40 there for Dadwrestler. That's solid time, under the 30-minute mark.
A solid time indeed, and that wand did do an absolute number on the boss. That was beautiful. It's always lovely to see Hollow Egg at work. It's got some really interesting properties in that it completely ignores shields. So without that, I'm not sure he would have been able to take the win in the same way. Very well played by Dadwrestler, but he's still got time to put another time on the board. Darren is still clearing through. He's managed to find a heavy shot of his own, and you can see he's trying to build something. He's got some bouncing burst, he's got some freezing charge. Anything underneath him, I'll tell you what, that will certainly be in trouble. Interesting choice, grabbing the projectile slower. And once again, we're seeing this deadly vault floor. However, Darren already deviating from the strategy that Dadwrestler took. He is heading over to the right rather than to the left. And he's got these black holes to work with, but now they are weakened because of this projectile slower. It looks like Darren caught on immediately on that. It's so hard to consider all these little variables when you're speed running. Like you said, even in the boss room, you know, there were so many different ways he could potentially kill the boss. It's easy enough to overlook the simplest one.
Well, I think with Darrenthewizard in the vault at the moment, considering when he restarted, roughly around Snowy Depths HC base, it's possible that he's just ahead, especially since Dadwrestler just got the kill. If he does this in, say, 5-10 minutes, I think it'll be a really close one. Well, I think we're talking a really close time here.
Another important point to make is Darren already has the tools he needs to kill the boss, and that means all he has to do is get there. And obviously, that's kind of the hardest part of running in Noita, especially if you're going for pace. Is how are you going to make it to that boss? And you can see that he's getting pinned in on both sides by two rather dangerous enemies. Thankfully, he's got that melee immunity, so he doesn't have to worry about this robot assassin too terribly much. And I'll be interested to see what Dadwrestler does with all of his information. Maybe he'll be able to clear through to some very specific spells and skip a lot of the things that he had done before, because obviously that slower pace was extremely high value to him on that last run, and it granted him a ton of information. You can see Darrenthewizard using his black holes, but pulled in an Uko shot, which did some pretty significant damage to him. He does have this trick blood money if he can find a way to activate some trick kills, or even if enemies end up killing each other. This tends to be a pretty good floor to pick up some free blood money. So it's interesting to see exactly how this is playing out. You can see Darren having a little bit of frustration with his Noita, hoping to clear this floor a tiny bit faster. You can see the enemies are gathering up, and Darren is doing his absolute best to dance around them. But freezing on these robots are not effective. It's actually like a cooling system. It makes them move at nearly double speed, if not double. And it can be really tricky to play around these robots when you've been relying on a freeze charge build all game. You can see Dadwrestler is going to gather some of this slush. He needs to make sure he doesn't get set on fire or get any of that toxic sludge on him. Oh my goodness, Darren just barely sneaking by, avoiding the electric skull, but there's a RoboCop waiting for him on the other side. That is just a disaster, but thankfully, only a minor setback, and he can get right back into it. He is going to brute force this floor. That is his plan, and once again, he's getting electrocuted. Thankfully, he's still got a lot of health to play around with, so he's getting right back into it. Eventually, he will find a viable path.
Well, one thing we do know, there will be no overtime now. We have one score on the board, meaning if Darrenthewizard most likely can't get this run, then, well, we'll have to see what the actual outcome is. We shan't prejudge it, but we know that the runs end in 7 minutes.
This is definitely
we finish the current run they're on.
Indeed. This is definitely getting more and more tough for Darrenthewizard. The time is really on him at this point, but he definitely has the abilities and the spells to make it work. Dadwrestler already solidly placing his time in is just going to be looking to ideally throw in like an insanely fast time. We'll see what he can manage. You never know. Sometimes you just get that perfect line, and you can just skip through all the enemies, never take a hit. But it's a tricky thing to pull off. And this run, I must say, this seat has been rather brutal. It's got the spells, it's got some decent perks, but for a no-hit, the enemy placement has been absolutely brutal.
Yeah, there's been no one defining thing that will get you through. No repulsion, no real combination of perks that are gonna really see you through. The lack of invisibility, the lack of really good potions. Say you ambrosed it and just poured it on yourself for one entire biome, it would last, you know. There's been nothing like that to really hold on to.
Absolutely. It's definitely been a challenging one, but both players have really made the best of it. Dadwrestler already clearing, and Darren struggling through this vault once again on a very similar path to what Dadwrestler took. It's very interesting to see how this ended up being the path of choice. And Darren is now getting dangerously low. He does not have a tablet to recover his HP. So all the blood money he will be gathering is probably going to be through random enemies or through very impressive trick kills. We'll see what happens. But he's making his way through. He does have a little bit of digging to his name. But once again, these robots are just his absolute bane. The freezing charge, not freezing like they do every other enemy.
Oh.
An unlucky combination.
Poked. Again, he's just getting whittled down now. Long range shot. He's getting in the mix. He's trying to use the acid holes, anything to get through. Just, it's a cheeky one, the vault. It'll always, especially if you have a good distance yet left to go. It's not the longest biome. It's shorter than the jungle from what I can tell. Sometimes it's just really hard to tell relative distance downward. Like, we know the second floor and the Hisi base are relatively short. But when it comparing everything else, they seem to have their own kind of personalities. And sometimes feel different run to run.
For sure. And I think that the big struggle is here that these black holes have just been kind of nullified in terms of their usefulness. They're just not really what they need to be with this lack of range. It's really interesting because that perk is amazing for these sorts of runs, but it's being so much more difficult in this situation. And Darren did manage to find the same black hole one Dadwrestler found. Oh my goodness, just barely missing out on the portal there. But he does have a much clearer path, and he's on low HP. We've seen Darren clutch this before. Let's see if he can do it again.
So scary. It seems like my game volume is a little messed up, but that's okay. I don't like these as perk options. Wait, do we have a better... Yeah, no, we don't have a better thing than this. Taking it off, leaving it on, taking it off, leaving it on. We'll leave it on, just in case we gotta do some damage. Okay. Okay, we're melee immune. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Oh, this might not be so fine. No! Oh, I knew it. I knew it. Okay, we got this, we got this, we got this. How did we get through here before? Whoa. Do you think we can get through this one? Ugh. Okay, whatever, he's stuck. Take that, you little idiot. Uh-oh. I don't know where my game sound is gone. Here's this little idiot that did it to me the first time. Don't do it. 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 Come on. That's amazing. What? Okay. Well, we're right at the bottom. We're using like all of our water. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, that was close. Unbelievable. Man, we're almost at the bottom here. That's fine. We are invincible to that. I know we keep trying different ways here, but just trying to get lucky. Oh. Okay, we're screwed. It's our projectile slowing field that's messing with our black holes. Why, dude? I know my time is basically up. But we're so close. We're so freaking close. Oh no. This guy's gonna freeze me. Oh, okay. I know we're close. Oh. I hate those crystals, my dude. They are brutal. Okay, so we have tons of black holes. Okay, this guy needs to stop. Stop. This is Noita for you, man. I'm just trying to blaze through it with nothing. But it's not really going so well. Yeah, this is a tough mod, man. 1 damage and you get teleported back up to the Holy Mountain. The boss fight should be easy. Okay, this is fine. Unbelievable. Guys. Oh boy. Okay, we're so close. It's that freaking cursed rock, man. I love that they added it, but it's so tough to deal with sometimes. Actually, if we just go fast past him, we'll be okay. Now we have fizzle spells. This is insane, dude. That crystal has my number. Stop. I should just be black holing straight down, I suppose. But my projectile slower really messes with it. Okay. Okay. I get it. I get it. We're out of water too. We have so many black holes, but our projectile slower really just stops it. Whoa, that was close. Oh, the raining acid. Okay. Don't do it. Don't do it. No! The cursed rock. The seed was a mess, for sure. Ooh, I kind of want to try it. Oh, it looks like a dead end there anyways. Ugh, now we have to wait. Don't do it. We have to be so careful through here. Please tell me we're at the bottom here. Oh, finally, man. We finally made it. The sun's gone down and the moon come up. Oh man. Okay, we have enough. Yeah, we don't even need this on. Ooh, a shield. Okay. Let's do it. So brutal. Yeehaw, finally we made it through. Sorry if people are still watching me. Why is he not freezing? Why is he not freezing? Come on, kick him. There we go. Great, now I'm stuck inside of him. Ugh, okay, whatever. Easy. My audio's a little glitched. That's okay. I think it happened when I like, I don't know, when one of those crazy deaths. Easy at the end. Yeah, that was 33 minutes. Oh boy. Good game, Dad, if you're listening.
And with that time, Dadwrestler takes it.
And indeed, very close competition. Only 4 minutes in it. And I think, again, I couldn't call that amount of time. Absolutely, congratulations to Dadwrestler, but congratulations to all our competitors today for the teleport to mountain on hit runs. Such fantastic runs. A mixture of strategies, a mixture of entertaining biome grinding. Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's the right word, to be honest, but attempts, considering the amount of, minor setbacks. How many minor setbacks can you have before it's major? I don't know. But we shall surely get both competitors back into the chat. And that was, again, a few different strategies along the way in that type of run alone. But Dadwrestler, congratulations, my friend. We're 29-40.
Yeah.
Under 30
Congrats,
minutes.
Dad.
That's a big congratulations.
I appreciate it.
So how did you
I was
both find the
surprised.
runs?
A lot of fun. Definitely the first one was a little more entertaining and fast, but I still had a lot of fun with the second one.
Yeah, same. This scene was kind of not throwing me any bones.
Yeah, that's what we saw. A little bit of everything, but not enough to dominate. He didn't get any ambrosia, invisibility. He didn't get enough to have a one potion or item solves all kind of problem. It was very bitty in a way. You had certain strategies like your telekinetic kick, but you also had like trick blood money on the same stand being offered, which they would have both worked really well together, but had to pick and choose. And that was the kind of the entire run, wasn't it?
It was a lot of picking. Oh, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say I realized partway through that my freeze kick strategy wasn't gonna work because I had telekinetic kick, so I restarted.
Oof.
I didn't have anything to fight the boss besides the freeze, and I had telekinetic kick, and I was like, "Oh yeah, right." So I restarted in the Hisi base.
That's all right.
It was, or maybe it was.
We were talking about that strategy and saying it might be really sensible to do to actually gain as much information as possible. If you feel like you're on a strat that's not going anywhere, to give it a hot restart with the information you've already got.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that second run, it definitely had a more of like putting all of the skills of being a Noita player to the test for sure.
I cannot wait to go fast and not have to worry about getting hit.
Same here. It'll be a rematch, buddy.
Bring it on.
But of course, thank you to Aliasbot as well for commentating along with me for those two runs. Always great to have his insight and talent and knowledge to bring towards these type of competitive runs.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Guys. And thank
you so much, Alias. Thank you so much, people who ran DFaz, Darren the Wizard, Dadwrestler, and Supercon. Highly appreciate you supporting Noita. and enjoying the game. And it's always great to have you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, much appreciated. It's great to be here.
Oh, it's our pleasure, my friends. I'm sure everyone in chat agrees. But we will be moving on